Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Core Conversations for a Thursday. It's a Freestyle Thursday, so we are welcoming you to join in the conversation. Looking forward to chatting about the conferences that are coming up. We have the Global Plies Organization Conference coming up. Momentum Fest is coming up. We can reflect on our people that we've had this week. Dad goals as always, and we're going for it. Hope everyone's doing well. And let's see here. Have you slide up? Hello, my friend. How's the baby doing? Just typing things. All right. Talk about your... Nice. Darren, how are you, sir? Hope things are well. How you been, man? Been hustling, I'm sure. Good stuff. Do you have any online classes or any workshops that are coming up? Like, put it in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you're doing. And actually, if you want to join me on screen, oh yes, nice, good stuff. Hi, Jamie. If either of you want to join me, like I know Jamie, you have some workshops, or you're asking about some people to join you for observation hours. Like if you want to, either of you want to jump on screen, you're more than welcome to. That's the whole point of our freestyles. For those who are watching after as well, if you ever want to, join the conversation, you don't necessarily have to do an hour. You could just come on and talk for a few minutes. This is your chance to do that. Jamie, do you want to come on screen? Are you free to do so? Dan, I love that you as a Pilates guy are doing a kettlebell workout right now. We got to balance all those things out for sure. Pilates, body geek movement, what's going on? All right, come on, my friend. My Jamie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
What's going on?
Good. I'm just getting ready to do my own little bit of a reformer workout. I've been teaching all day, so but yes, I'm glad you saw that request and had
Yes.
mentioned it, because I
Hi,
have a
Kathy.
membership that I run. And hi, Kathy. Hi, Marie. So I have a mentorship that I run that's online, and I have observation discussion hours where I film someone live and let my mentees observe and kind of take them through the session. What I'm looking for is bodies that I'm not used to teaching. So it's more like real life, so that they can
Yes.
see. And then we usually we record it. That way the mentees can watch the recording, and then we discuss about the things that we observe, the things that we see, and then kind of go from there on what we would do maybe the next session, what were some things that worked. And then I just saw Julie for the last 2 hours. So,
That's too funny.
so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some new bodies. I've been on maternity leave for so long. I feel like I'm so like out of touch with what's going on in the rest of the world. So
Yes.
if anyone would like to
Hey,
be
Blossom.
free session for you, and it's a 50-minute session, and then I've done it with you, Martin. So you've been actually one of my bodies for some of my students before. So I'm looking for a body that would be willing to be demonstrated, and then the people from my years prior mentorship get to audit, and then be there for you don't have to be there for the discussion call. I mean, you can if you want, but
Right.
for my students. So yeah.
So
Shout
what if I'm like, I don't want people to see my body, I don't want to see how terrible I move, like the whole self-esteem
Guess what?
wall that comes up.
It's okay. Like no one's going to do everything perfect. This is real life, right? Like,
Yes.
how many times do you have someone that comes into a Pilates studio that does everything so easy and perfect and whatever, right? We all have our own thing. So it's not really about that. It's not about looking at like the mistakes. It's looking about how we can work with the body that's in front of us.
Yes.
And make the system work for that person's body, essentially. So really teaching to that person. So it's more so how.
You're just cutting out there.
Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, I had a call. Yeah. So it's more about just kind of helping people where they're at, and using it as like a learning experience for the teachers so that they can see what to maybe do. It's how I've learned so much is from watching other people teach.
Absolutely.
And being able to, the generous people that have allowed me to watch them and letting me ask questions, that I could find out why they were doing the things that they were doing, and kind of getting into the nitty gritty. Yes, Andrea, I'm looking for bodies that
new
maybe
bodies
the first time or that have done Pilates. It just has to be a body that I'm not used to teaching.
I see Chantel 23 is a friend of mine, Natasha, and Ferber is my brother. He's done Pilates with me once or twice. And actually, the gentleman who's on tomorrow, Daniel Cabella, Daniel Cabella's on. He's a pro basketball guy, like a pro dunker, does like exhibitions and stuff. He was over at my house, and I took him and my brother through a Pilates class, and it's fun working with new bodies. Just how. Especially with this guy, Daniel, who is on tomorrow, so powerful, right? Like he's got like this crazy vertical and stuff like that. So you have this super strong, powerful body that doesn't know this whole movement experience. So then how do you present to them? Like, how do you teach it to them and stuff? So that'd be great for your observers to see different bodies at different levels, right?
We just did it. I just did one for the teacher training, for the students of the teacher training. And it was one of our faculty's husbands who had never, even though he's married to a Pilates instructor, he doesn't really do Pilates, but he's an athlete. He does sports, he lifts weights, maybe he does a yoga class every once in a while. But it was so great because like, even in one leg circle, he like twisted his body all the way over, like completely rolled onto his side. I'm like, this is what happens like in real life, like when you start teaching beginners, right? So like we wanted to like show thing to teach a person that already knows Pilates, especially online virtually, as opposed to someone that has never done it before, has never seen it before. Like they have no idea where you're taking them, and you just are like, no, we're gonna dial that back a little bit.
It's a totally different night.
Yeah. It's so awesome.
Yeah. It's a new language, right?
Like DM me. And we can definitely get that started.
Yes.
So.
Perfectly. Yeah, I have a few people I can think of too that I might refer to as well. So thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to hop off because I only have a limited amount of time to work out in before I have to go back to baby. So, but I'm listening.
All right, do your thing. Okay.
So, bye.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jamie. There you go, guys. Free workout if you want to work with an amazing instructor. I've worked with Jamie a lot. She is such an awesome teacher. So I always say that whether I'm working with, like, you listen to it on so many different levels, and you hear the cues, you hear what they're looking for, you hear what they're not looking at, what they're not placing emphasis on, and all those things layer in, help to make you a better teacher if you're a teacher in that. So if I'd have my hand up right out the gate, but I've already been there. So if anyone else wants to message her directly, and you can jump in there. Yes, I think so too. Jamie is the best. Nice. There's a bunch of new people here that I haven't seen before. I'd love to have you join me on screen. Regina, Body Geek Movement. If you want to jump on just to say hi, I'd love to hear a little bit about your story, where you train, what you do, all that fun stuff. I have a couple of things I want to talk about today, but at the same time, yes. Also, can I repeat where is Jamie's studio? She is in Stockholm. She's in Sweden. And her handle, yes, sessions virtual. Yeah. I mean, if you want to go to Stockholm, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to train you in person, but okay, awesome. No, I haven't watched Loki yet. We're definitely gonna watch it. It came out yesterday, right? Yeah. So Joel, what we do, my sons and I will we'll take a day and we'll watch the episode, and then we'll go and we'll spend like 3 more hours on YouTube watching all the Marvel movie explained, all the Easter eggs, all the historical stuff, and we'll just dive deep on it. We'll just completely geek on it for a whole evening. So it's usually like a Friday or Saturday night thing. So that's what we did with Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and also with WandaVision. Like, we watch it and then like 2 more hours of just watching stuff. So that's funny that you mentioned that, because that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about today. What do you do besides Pilates? What stuff interests you? What kind of stuff do you like to do? Like that's a tradition. My boys and I, with Marvel movies, and just diving deep on the stories behind the stories and the characters and their movies and stuff like that. We love that. So that's one of the fun things that we like to do. I like to get out in my car. I have a classic car. Some people have dogs. I have a classic car. So it's not a big deal. It sounds like it's a big fancy thing. It's my thing. What do you do besides Pilates? How do you get yourself away from this? And the reason why I asked that is because we had this fun moment when I was speaking, and please just throw your stuff in the comment section while I'm chatting. James Shaw on Monday was talking about how we chase money. Like we go from one studio to another, to one client to another, to one workshop to another. And even in the stuff that we do on our spare time, still comes back to Pilates. Excuse me, like for example, he has some tennis players. So we're like, let's go play some tennis. But then you're playing tennis your whole time. You think, okay, this will be, if I do this arm circles with the springs, that's going to help with my serve. And so you never really detach yourself from your work, and which is easy to do when you love your work. It's easy to stay connected to it because it's not burning you out. You just keep going and going and going. But how do you give yourself a mental break? What do you do besides Pilates to just kind of escape? And as we were having the conversation, he really couldn't figure that out. And I put it out to people in the chat, and people were saying different things. And then he had this aha moment where he remembered that he used to do silver working, and he was watching a show on Netflix or something that was like talking about how he makes jewelry. And he's like, I'm going to start working with silver again. I'm going to start making jewelry again. And it was like this moment of, oh yeah, I used to do this in college. This is so fun. Maybe I'm going to pick that up again. What was that oh yeah moment? What was that aha moment? What was that thing that you used to do that you've escaped, that you've gotten away from because you've gotten so busy with the thing you're doing right now, but you actually really like doing that too? That's kind of the question. So I'm throwing that out there. I'm going to read some of your comments, and then let's discuss. And also, if you don't want to put it in the chat, if you want to join me on air and just talk, we can do that as well. Joel says, I'm a Marvel fan. Also DC when they came out with something, when they came out with something good. True. So I like to distract myself from those shows. Right. Play guitar. Go out in nature. Cooking. Playing guitar. I didn't know you played. Like triple threat, eh? Like sing. Do you act as well, Caroline? That's how I let my body rest from Pilates, running and everything else. Yeah. Tack fit. I've been trying to connect with nature more. The conversation I had with Coach Robin Renee a few weeks ago, she is like a hike instructor, and she brings out, inner city kids like myself, not really, but like people who are really connected to the suburbs and connected to the inner city, who don't have that connection to nature, specifically like Black women as well, that she would go and, oh yeah, bodyweight and clubhouse, cool. Yeah, so she would guide those things. So between those conversations, these are the things that really benefit me personally. These conversations, it challenges me to do things that, like, I ride my bike pretty much all summer to work. But then that's like, I'm on a mission, right? Like I just go straight one, back and forth. Hey, Alex, we're talking about what you like to do besides Pilates right now. So if you want to put in the chat something that you do that has nothing to do with Pilates, like on your spare time, whatever, put it in the chat. So nature. So John Claude Nelson was talking about going out in nature, just going for a walk and just like walking barefoot or taking your shirt off and just kind of connecting. And Robin Renee was saying like taking a bunch of women out on a hike that takes hours and making sure there's somewhere where there's no cell phone connection. So you actually lose that connection with the outside world. Those things have been really connected with me. And I found that I've taken more time to step away and to do those things and find that recharge from going out in nature. So that's been the thing that I've taken away as some of our conversations. Jamie's comment here is one of the best things, let's find out here in a second. One of the best things I did was leave the industry, which sounds crazy, but I lost the person that wasn't a Pilates instructor, studio owner. Ironically, I came back with a better appreciation and understanding. Yeah. Now, Jamie, was that a reactive move or was that a proactive move? Was that something that you did because you were burnt out? Or is that something you did because you recognized that something was eroding? Those are two different conversations. Can we be proactive and be like, you know what, I need to just pull away while I still have some semblance of myself? Or was it one of those like, who am I? Where am I? I need to just stop and figure that out again moment. We've had both. People collectively have had those moments. So hi, Tabitha, what do you like to do besides Pilates? Ultimate Serenity body work. If you had a day to yourself and you've already got your Pilates workout in for the day and you feel like you're complete in that, what would you do besides Pilates? Yes, I was burning out and didn't want to lose my love of it. Yes. Okay, Alex, walking for me too, and I've been reading rom-coms. Predictable plot, familiar, felt good. It's been a fun and surprising find. Rom-coms. Yeah, I can't say that I'm there yet. Um, yes. Good, man. How are you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a long time. Like long time, like damn days. The damn drop-in center I used to work at. Anyway, go for a bike ride to Boulder. Very cool. Yeah, I need to get on my bike more. Like, I mean, I purposely ride my bike to somewhere. I want to do that. Oh yeah, funny, Alex. The other day, when we had our conversation, you mentioned the race and Lewis Hamilton. I think like I love the fact that we didn't even get into cars. I was so like just enthralled with our conversation. Um, Joel, wasn't that such a good conversation on Tuesday? Tuesday, with that about the contemporary and classical dialogue. It wasn't a battle and it wasn't a verse. It was just a good conversation. But I was so enthralled in that conversation, I didn't even touch the tangent about cars. Love talking cars. I think you are quickly become one of my favorite people. My wife recognized that as well as soon as we started talking cars. Joel's a car guy as well. So we can all be fast friends. No pun intended. Actually, it was a pretty good pun. Anyway, let's see here. Therapeutic deep tissue massage whenever I get the chance. Yes. Actually, Alex, do you want to come on to screen and Joel as well? We can do a three-way conversation right now. You guys can meet digitally. I know Joel's always good to go. Alex, you in? Thumbs up? Yes, there you go. Hey, hey.
Oh,
Twice
hey,
in 1 week?
I know, right?
Hey.
nice.
So, Alex, this is Joel. Joel, this is
Hi.
Alex.
Hey, Alex.
It's a
I enjoyed your
pleasure.
conversation the other day. It was great.
Oh, so kind. Thank you. It's nice to meet you this way.
Yeah, your face behind the chat.
Right, right.
Yeah, that was fun. Yesterday I had some time yesterday to sit outside. So my Alex and I were just sitting outside and we were going through the conversation yesterday with Toshiba and her boyfriend. And then also we went into your conversation as well. And they were just like fun, light conversations, right? It seemed like it was a really heavy topic, but it was refreshing. It wasn't like combative. It was just good to just feel good about what we do and where we are, if you know what I mean.
I don't think I caught some yesterday after a client, and I don't think I managed to type into the box, but I just wanted to thank the three of you for, it was so honest and, tough stuff, but also it was just such a pleasure to listen to you. So thank the three of you for sharing, as you always do. But it was such a pleasure.
Mhm. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I think on that topic again, it's like whether it's contemporary, classical, I guess, people have their different tastes or reasons for things, but as long as it's good movement, because actually, even after I typed a comment and the conversation was over, I felt like I should have gone back and because I said, good movement is good movement. And, in contemporary, sometimes I see people like dumping into their joints and stuff. But I see that with people who are classical teachers too. So right after I type that, I'm like, never mind. It doesn't matter, because I see people who are classically trained on classical equipment, like just dumping into their joints. And it's
Yes.
like, it's like Joe, there's not one picture of Joe anywhere where he's just dumping into his joints and stretching. So,
Yeah, yeah.
as long as but I guess whether it's classical or contemporary in that framework, there's still, as long as it's good movement. But
Right.
like on the same side, good movement is good movement no matter where you are. You can learn in martial arts, whatever. But the flip side of that is bad movement is bad movement too.
I was going to
Right.
say jumping
Yeah.
happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely. The one of my favorite lines was when Gloria Gasperi was on, and she was like, "There are good teachers who know 5 exercises, and there's bad teachers who know 5,000 exercises."
That was so true.
Right? Like
Yeah.
there's a sense of just being good and just knowing stuff and getting people to move properly. That regardless of what you know, just do it well, as opposed to just amassing this bunch of exercises and just not doing any of them good at all. Right? So yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So
It's
true.
it's so true. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
What's going on, Shazan? Lots of new people here. Gratz is in here. So this is a fun chat with Gratz in the room. I am on the shopping channel tonight, and it's like a regular gig that I usually have pre-COVID that now they've kind of adapted it. So I was via Skype, and I'll be in my house, and I have the Pilates Pro Chair, which is a chair that is, just a chair, right? Like the one to chair type thing. And it is so funny because like I have a Stott Merithew chair, like the split pedal chair with uprights and the whole nine. I have Grotz equipment behind me.
Well?
Yeah, with the handles. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's at home. I haven't brought it into the studio. So you see, like, there's Grotz equipment there. I have a Stott ladder barrel right there, and I'm pushing a $200 one to chair while propping my laptop on my $2,200 like peak Stott chair tonight. So
COVID times.
yes, exactly. And so I mean, I always, people ask me like, is that a good chair? Like, is that just like this ghetto chair? And the funny thing is that it still comes down, like, you're only as good as your knowledge on the thing. Like a poor craftsman like blames his tools, right? Like I could get a client in on that $200 and whatever Pilates Pro chair and give them a great workout, the same as I would on a Grotz one to chair or my Stott chair, right? Like, I mean, it all comes down to what you know, what's your knowledge, and how do you get people moving. So, so it's just interesting how
you can accomplish what you want. I mean, I think with even with tools, if you go to Home Depot or whatever, you guys have Home Depot in Canada?
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So your hardware store. Yes. You got your stuff. I mean, you can get the a Ryobi drill that's great for home and some hobbies. But now if you're really serious, and it'll still do the job.
Yes.
It's just how you're going to use that tool. But then if you're, but you have the option of going to Makita or, another high-end brand, you're going to pay a lot of money for it. But bottom line, it's still going to do the same thing. But, that piece of equipment that is higher end, there are some advantages to it, right?
Absolutely.
That you'll know once you start using it. Oh, okay, this is why it's this level of stuff. But the bottom line is you can still get a lot of work accomplished with either one. It's just the knowledge that you're going to apply to it. You don't use it improperly.
Right.
You're not going to use any drill as a hammer, right? So
I should
as long as you know how to use it, then you're gonna be able to really help change people's bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
I always think Martin was asking about like what you do outside of the studio, and I actually love like cooking competition shows. I'm not a very good cook, but that's what instead of drills, I'm thinking expensive knives where I already have those beautiful chef knives. I just throw the knife, I'm sure. And I'm sure they could use my very dull, need to be sharpened ones, and they could still make something incredible out of it. So 100%. 100%.
That's the knowledge. And that's what's cool about Pilates too. I mean, bottom line, you don't need any equipment to do Pilates, right?
Exactly.
So whatever you have, if you have any tools to help you with that, as long as you understand the principles and stuff like that, it'll work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well said. Well said.
It's interesting too, and I'm not knocking this piece by any means, but if you go on Kijiji, you'll see a lot of them for sale on Kijiji. People who bought it and thought that they were going to use it, and then it's back on Kijiji. And I think it's because of the instruction piece, right? Because it comes with like a bunch of DVDs, and you're inspired in the moment, but accountability, education, and motivation, right? If 1, 2, or 3 of those are missing, it doesn't matter what you have. It could be the top of the line brand, or it could be an entry level brand. Those pieces missing from the equation, and you're just not going to use it. There'll be no adhesion to exercise.
Oh, I've got a guest star.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, Martin. I mean, how many people have treadmills and rowing machines and bikes that they're hanging their clothes on,
Right.
They become
I know,
hangers.
Pilates
So if you use
instructor-
it,
Yeah, a
Mhm.
Pilates instructor who says her reformer is her clothes rack half the time. You know what I mean? It's just because
Yeah.
she's not home to use it. She's actually in a studio and gets more use out of that equipment, right? And she is an instructor. She knows how. So even then, just the context and the environment it's in, you know, and we often stick our gym equipment, whatever brand it is, you know, in these horrible like basement laundry, you know what I mean? Like I
Yes.
think it's interesting where you want to use them and where it makes a difference. Like it really does. So, yeah.
it doesn't matter what you have, what equipment you have, or lack of equipment. You know, nothing is going to, you know, wishful thinking is not going to get you fit.
Right.
You know, you can buy your piece of equipment and just, and wish, you know, you got to use it.
Cost
Wishful
and
thinking
price.
is not going to do it. And that's what marketers, you know, go for. It's like, get you all hyped up, you buy it. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to use this, but you know, your good motives and wishful thinking are not going to do it. You got to do it.
No.
Yes.
You won't look like you in the shopping channel if you just stare at your chair, sadly.
Right.
They've hired
Right.
good models to make it look
Yeah, exactly. So
Very good
I'm
sales
part of the
pitch.
problem, is what you're saying, right? I'm just like,
No.
Yeah.
No. You get to show it off to its best. That they pick the right people to show it off.
right.
But you gotta use it.
Gotta use it. Yeah. So I'm having 8 p.m. and a 10 p.m. show tonight, and then they'll run the reruns of it all day tomorrow. So I'll be the showstopper all day Friday on TV on the Canada Shopping Channel.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So let's talk cars, though. Like the reason why we're here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's talk cars. By the way, hey, the big news. This is I just put $100 deposit down.
Yeah.
On the new Ford F-150 Lightning.
Oh yeah.
All electric, 100% electric pickup truck. Since we're talking cars,
What?
I just did it yesterday. So I got in line. So this fall I'll be able to pick what trim I want. And then, so 100% electric, 300-mile range Ford F-150 pickup truck. Because,
That's huge.
I mean, I have a little truck now,
Mhm.
but, you know, they just get terrible. Even my small Ford, my Nissan Frontier, at best, it gets 17 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so this thing, we got a full-size pickup,
Yeah.
no
Wild.
gas.
I
We'll
love
see.
that they went with the Lightning name too, because that was the old name for
Yeah.
their top performance truck back in the day.
That's right.
Yeah.
it was a recycle of that
feel.
name.
Like it totally, like lightning. It just, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
So we'll see. I'll keep you posted as
Yeah.
as it gets closer.
Nice. Can you do like a live where you're picking your colors and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I shall. I'll put you a
I had
Exactly.
a client.
I'm sure.
For you guys.
I'm sure Ford will give me a big discount for
Oh
doing.
yeah, sure. A lot of time to broker that. Sorry, you're gonna say Alice?
No, a whole new channel for the two of you. This could be a whole new set of conversations.
Car conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how much Pilates equipment can you tow in the back of that truck?
Oh, there
There
you
you
go.
go. See, all the ideas are just flowing now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I had a client back in the day when Tesla came out that we were just getting, meeting at the beginning of the session and started talking about whether you should get it or not. And then we went over to the desk at Lifetime at the front desk where you sign in your client, and then went on a page and we literally spent the whole session picking out his car, like interior, exterior, rims, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, that was a good session today. See you.
Best he
see you
ever
Wednesday.
had.
It was so fun. I was like, those are like the best sessions. Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny you say that, Martin, because I had actually, it was about a month ago. I've got a client. He's 18 years old, got out of high school. He's getting his first car, and we were talking about it.
Yeah.
And so we ended up like doing 3/4 of his session, like choosing his car
Yeah.
and helping him pick out his car, and then
Sure.
a couple weeks later, we were looking for car insurance for him. So we ended up.
Oh, full
See?
service. Full service.
We're changing lives
It's
here.
full service.
We'll-
Exactly, right. Helped him save some money. Yeah.
This is like a whole new, guys. This is a whole new business couple concepts.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've said that in the past that like I should be like a matchmaker for people and their cars. Like you hear their personality, what they like to do, and be like, you need an Accord. I think you'd be good in the Subaru
Right.
because whatever it is, and like I just love doing that. Like
Mhm.
like it's one of those things. Just being a car guy, you get a sense of what people love, and yeah.
It's true.
And weird to
Cool.
throw this back, but genuinely to throw it back to, I think we work with people, right? I think we read people, not just their bodies, but it's a personality thing, right? And I think
Yes.
you spend enough time with people, I hope we get not bad at it. I think, like we all have our strengths, but that makes sense to me too, right? You get a read on someone, you're like, yeah, I can see you in. Like, I think that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
That's good.
Yes.
Love it.
Jamie agrees.
100%, yeah. Which
Yeah.
I watched part of our conversation back, Martin.
Mhm.
Thanks for the core-star there. Lovely shout out. I was like, you could do a drinking game to me saying 100%. I said it like so many times.
Did you really?
So mortified. Yeah, but it's me. Like, that's how much my partner was like, yeah, but you only say that when you're really into something. So I kept saying it to everything you were saying.
So I had like 100% in the conversation, so it means we're on track. 100%.
I know.
That's awesome. I think that's fun that you do. I do that too, where you're listening to the conversation, but you're also kind of just analyzing like how you actually presented.
Yeah. And if you try not to, and if you can take that, so I have a classical singing background as well, right?
Okay.
And so I thankfully have gotten to the point where I can listen to myself, like afterwards, and you don't go, oh, your voice, oh, I think most teachers now, especially in this era, right, you got over that part of it, just
Yes.
being able to listen to yourself. But it was my voice teacher back in the day who, we used cassette tapes, dating myself there, to record your sessions, and because you had to practice to them, right? You had to listen to what you were doing. And her famous line was, your ears are in the wrong place, like in the session. You had to trust her because they can't
like that.
hear what we sound like. So I think it is a useful tool when you can listen to yourself, whether it's teaching, right, which is always a useful thing to do, but so hard, I think, for a lot of us, right, to like, oh God, what's that cue, and but yeah, so
Yes.
useful.
Your ears are in the wrong place.
Your ears are in the wrong place. You actually don't.
I wrote that down
Right?
first,
You aren't hearing what other people hear. And she used to, every time I'd start to cringe, like I wouldn't get my top notes the way I wanted, or I was a little off pitch or whatever, and she'd be like, your ears in the wrong place. You're fine. Keep going. Ears are in the wrong place. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my problem. I can't sing. My ears are in the wrong place.
Your ears are in the wrong place, friend. You can sing.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
That's a good line, because the first thing
Isn't
for me
it?
is like, my eyes are in the wrong place. If I'm teaching somebody, what am I looking at? Like, where's my place of focus if it's going to help this person to experience and feel and taste all that is supposed to in this exercise? Are my eyes in the right place?
That's actually, to get off topic, that's some of the, when I'm in my teacher training, when I have the apprentices doing stuff, sometimes they're teaching someone on the Bunda chair, and they're just looking at their feet and the chair pedal going up and down. And I watch them like, did you see that their back was coming off of the high chair at all? You're just watching the pedal go up. It's hypnotizing, right? I know, but you need to look at their center.
Yes.
Look at the center. They're like, well, I just didn't want them to slip. And I'm like, okay. Well.
Which is a good response.
Yes.
Hey, good counter. I know.
Yes,
My
counter.
favorite line, which I have to remind myself all the time as an instructor and my students, is take a step back, right? How do you get that full picture, right? Oop.
Yeah, that's really, you got to take a step back and like look at the whole body sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that line.
Or sometimes I will like when the studio is really crowded and we're like bumping into each other, I'll go to the other side of the reformer and teach the whole session just looking at the back of my clients instead of where the foot bar is. I'm at the back and I just stay there because I'm not bumping into people, but it's cool. It gives me a whole different perspective from watching them from behind.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I've loved about like teaching virtually too, right? You're catching things with your clients that you've seen for years. Like I remember like maybe in my first or second week teaching someone being like, has your foot always done that? Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, you totally missed it, right? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And virtually I found, I don't know about you guys, sorry, this is like, I love to talk this stuff, but where it's been fascinating really getting them into their own bodies and using their hands instead of your hands. And so their tactile feedback and teaching them how to straighten themselves out on the mat. So you're not standing at their head going, okay, shimmy a little left there. How can they use, you know, whether it's the mat or the floor, that immovable. I've actually had someone put their feet on the wall really recently to feel where their weight was, to how their pelvis was. So again, right, it's amazing how for us it's so useful as a teaching tool, but it's so useful for them to get, you know, it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, 100%. Shoot, drink.
I love how you just 100%ed your own comment too. That was the best part of that.
I get into anything. That's what my partner was like. You get excited. Josh was like, you just get excited. And you're like, 100%.
That's like laughing at your own jokes, right?
That's right.
But have you guys ever actually, as instructor trainers, I did that once in a course where I was doing something, like I was demoing, and then I think I said good job because you're so used to just integrating it into your like give myself a good job.
No, I did that. In fact, I was oh my God, I'm so sick of myself. I was shooting some videos for someone. I'm working on a video project, and so I had to shoot some footage and then send it in to them. And then I was doing like, you know, the ab series, and I was done. I was like, good job. And I'm like, I'm giving myself a good job, and now I don't want to reshoot this whole thing from the beginning. I just left it in. It's gonna be.
We should give ourselves a pat.
Like I don't want to start all over and cut and and edit it out and then have a clip there. So, oh well. So if you guys in the future, when you ever see this video, you can laugh because there's Joel complimenting himself again.
Right.
Well, we all have
I'll
blooper reels.
Gotcha.
Well, we all have blooper reels at the end of COVID. That's what we'll put it together, a compilation for ourselves.
Yes. Totally.
But I just went with it instead of being like saying good job. I'm like, oh crap, I did it again. You know, I just like, okay, just go with it. That would have been even worse.
Yes. There's I missed a muscle car comment here. I think you saw it. So muscle cars are my weakness. Muscle cars. Second car in high school was a 70 orange Camaro.
Yeah, let's go back to the cars. Oh man.
Yeah,
cars.
sorry.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good topic. What was your first car, Martin?
Ooh, my first car was a 1980 Volvo 244.
Oh, safe.
Yeah.
Drive that off a cliff, man.
Yep.
Nice.
And then what was your first car? Oh,
sorry.
My first car was a 1972 Plymouth Duster.
Love it.
Nice Chrysler product. It had the slant six engine in it. It's indestructible slant six engine.
Nice.
It was an awesome car. Unfortunately, somebody pulled out in front of me, and I ran into them. And of course, you know, the car is probably worth at the time $300, so it would have been worth it. Replace. So I lost that great car, but
yeah,
it was awesome. And how about you? What was your first car?
I have a confession. I don't drive.
Whoa!
I was
I'm
waiting
such a
for
city
that.
girl. Yeah.
My first car was Uber. Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
It's a few things, which is like, it's all crappy excuses. I'm a December baby. So by the time, honestly, I had my learners in Canada, right, in Ontario, the graduated system, I'm not sure, like, if you guys are the same thing. But by the time I had my, like, learners, essentially, all my friends had their full license. Just because it was, like, you know, their birthdays were all January. So to be totally honest, I was spoiled in high school where I had to ride everywhere. I rode the bus, rode a bike, I walked. I still walk everywhere. Like, that's, to be honest, right? And now I own a car, but my partner drives, and I love riding shotguns. Like, it's really not, it's just one of those things where I love nothing more than a road trip, but I don't drive. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can get the snacks for the people that are driving, and just keep feeding them.
Music,
so yeah,
I'm actually
exactly.
Good
You need a good co-pilot. Yeah.
And a DJ too, right? Like someone's got to manage.
And a DJ, yeah, exactly.
So, Martin would probably know this maybe more than you, but my partner, well, actually, there you go, can you see the upright bass in our living room?
Oh, wow.
My partner is
So cool.
a musician, so there is sometimes it's a bit contentious who controls the music. So I mean,
Nah.
but,
Nice.
Yeah. Do you get the front seat, or does that instrument get the front seat?
if it was in the car, it would absolutely get the front seat. It would also get a plane ticket before I did too. So
Oh yeah.
you can't, right? Because those, they're so big and they're so delicate. You can't check them. You have to buy them a plane ticket. So if you're flying a bass, I know, isn't that crazy?
Whoa.
And not to mention most professionals, there's so many heartbreaking pictures on the internet. Don't Google it if you don't want to see it, of broken like guitars and stuff.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you get checked, they all get destroyed.
Sure.
And there's like,
Yeah.
and like no replacing most of these because they're like vintage and stuff, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
much safer
Yeah.
to drive your instruments there. So
Yeah.
there, shout out for again driving.
There you go.
There
Driving.
you go.
But I got really into F1 after watching the Netflix documentary again, to be honest. So like cycling way back to Lewis Hamilton, we're just so obsessed now with all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun to watch. Yeah.
Oh God.
Sure.
So I'm sorry, you guys are I'm sure this is like some newbie coming in on talking about it, but we're so obsessed.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's fun. I just love the fact that we're talking cars on this thing where Plies people like, when are you going to talk about the, like, yeah. But it's so funny though. I was like, that is so Torontonian to like not
Yeah.
have a license and to just.
I didn't grow up in Toronto. It's the sad part. It's even worse.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's it, right? Like, you just everything is so easy to just jump on, just walk it. Like your
Yeah.
world becomes so small in terms of where you go that it's. Yeah, so
And then the real excuse was, after not getting a license in high school, I went to university on the East Coast. For any other Canadians in the chat here, I see some. Oh, and I can't even read that. I'm sorry if someone else can make out that last comment. Looks like we've got a few people from all over. I went to university in Nova Scotia, which is the east coast of Canada, and I went to Acadia, which is like a 3,000 person, pretty much liberal arts school, and it's in a 3,000 person small town. So you want to talk walkable towns.
Yeah.
It was actually a total inconvenience to have a car there. So,
yeah.
right? Like, yeah. Lots of cool vintage cars out there, though, guys. You might want to go visit because it's less snowy, so there's not the salt on the roads and like yeah.
There you go.
Well, there is a little bit of a tie-in. I've actually had 3 professional car drivers, 1 NASCAR driver because I'm in the South, and 2 drivers that they race Porsches in some Porsche circuit. I'm not sure what circuit it's in. But all of them, they started doing Pilates. I don't know if they heard it from another racer, but because of the course, I guess because you're holding onto the wheel so long and the steering is so precise on those things that they came and did Pilates with me for core strength, specifically to help their race car driving.
So cool.
There's some tie-in with that. So there we go. So there's your car and Pilates.
There you go.
Tie-in.
Yeah.
So
Well, Lewis Hamilton's
wild.
Lewis Hamilton's like trainer manager lady teaches Pilates. Like Lewis Hamilton does Pilates, right? Like so there's a whole thing on.
I love it.
It's actually
Okay.
in Road and Track where we're talking about how he's doing it. Like Pilates has really changed how he like has a central part to his workouts. If you guys get your hands on that article, it's really interesting because it talks about almost the prototype of a racer through the years and how they used to be, these deconditioned, drinking, smoking guys to Lewis Hamilton, and they basically did like that ape to human thing, and they showed like all these different like Hall of Fame racers through the years up to Hamilton, and saying how he does training, he does Pilates, and how all these things are so key. So yeah, to your point, Joel, it is a game changer for them, right? It's so key.
Have you seen the videos too recently? I feel like there's been a bunch online of the neck training, right? That was like the training against the force with their necks, and like it just
because their heads are bouncing around the whole time.
Yeah,
like when
so
you see that in the camera that's inside the cars,
Yeah.
they're like that. Yeah.
so wild just to see what they do. Yeah.
There you go. So that just goes to show that even though, like, when I was talking with James on Monday, like, anything you do comes back to Pilates. You can't shake it, right? like,
Cars.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's our tie-in. So we're totally legitimized in talking about cars
Yes.
in this Pilates forum.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Fitness circle. Magic
Yes.
circle.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
There we go. Yeah, just hold that magic circle, squeeze in on it, rotate it. There we go.
It's practically a steering wheel.
It's
It's-
practically a steering wheel.
Yes.
Exactly. Same connections.
Yes. I had to stop people from seeing the wheels on the bus every time they grabbed that in my classes back in the day. So, yes.
That's great.
Too funny. Thank you guys for joining me. It's crazy like how
Sure.
yeah, I didn't have to say anything today. Just keep bringing people
I
up.
feel bad. There actually was a legit Pilates question that we ignored in the comments
What's
in
there?
Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who it is. It was like totally different topic. How during the pandemic, how do we open your Pilates studios?
Oh.
It's in Spanish.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you for translating. That was the one I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
French
speak
I can
Spanish
help you
either.
with. But, so thank you. That's great. Do you want to answer it first?
Yeah, so can you
In Spanish?
repeat the question? It's
Okay, so it was basically in Spanish. It's during the pandemic, which is the época de crisis. How did you open your Pilates studio?
yes, funny.
Or what have you done for your how would you maintain your Pilates studio or keep your Pilates studio
Keep it
open
open.
during the yeah?
Shifting your focus
Big-
to online, shifting it
Yeah.
to the other revenue streams besides the one-on-ones, right? Because like I think for me, you think of opening a studio and you instantly think about the one-on-ones, the people who are going to come in, the group classes that you're going to grow. And then you say, and one day I'll get some online classes, and one day I'll do a workshop, and on one day I'll have some on-demand content. And so it's that pivot to saying, okay, well, that one day stuff needs to happen now. And that actually could be the foundation that can be the springboard for everything else. So it's almost like a paradigm shift where you're saying, instead of focusing on the one-on-ones that are going to come in the door, I can spend all my energy on building a library of classes. Like even when I teach a virtual class, record it, then you have a library of stuff that you can put up later if you need to, or send out to your mailing list to say, hey, I just did an online class for back pain, and just send it to them or whatever it is. So you can use this time to leverage all the other things that you're thinking about getting to someday right now.
That's great advice, Martin. That's really good advice.
Mm-hmm. And then Martin and I are both in Ontario, where unfortunately, we're not open in terms of, the actual studio even yet. It's been a pretty brutal lockdown for us, but down in the States, it sounds like you hopefully a bit more open.
Oh yeah, well, depending on the state that you're in. I'm in Georgia, so we were locked down for 3 weeks,
Okay.
and and then after that, it's just wide open.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But
they basically just leave it up to the individual businesses. I mean, there were maybe some counties that had mandates and restaurants that had some requirements they had to meet, but yeah, we didn't really lock down like New York and California. They were really locked down. They're like just now opening up over there. So yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Not bitter.
Yeah, exactly. I feel so bad. I mean, even when we were like, I didn't really want to post pictures of people working out in the studio and stuff like last summer, because very close friends of mine were in Los Angeles and California and couldn't even leave their house.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on the governor of the state that you live in, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's sensitive of you, very thoughtful of you, and be a little.
They're like Joel, you're such a butthole, man. Posting pictures of your full studio. I'm like, nah, I didn't even do that at all.
Yeah.
Just shoot videos of me by myself.
Oh.
It's like
All
being
of
in
our
a
bloopers, all
famine
of our-
there, right? Like we're in this
Yeah.
famine and Joel's at a buffet and he's like serving himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
That's
serving
kind of
himself,
what it
someone
felt like.
serving him within.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Even worse. Yeah, that's
Oh
funny.
God.
Yeah. Too
Yes.
funny.
So no, I think Martin, you've said it all, and then beyond that, I think just do your best to stay sane, which goes back to what you were saying at the beginning. Say, what else do you do besides Pilates? What keeps you going? And yeah.
Yeah, good.
100%.
100%.
100%.
100%. Awesome. Thank you guys. This is so fun. And
Oh,
Joel,
thank you.
Yeah.
you guys are always welcome to join me on any freestyle, whenever, because it's just fun. It just makes the time go super fast.
It's always fun.
It is. Thank you both. It was lovely.
All right.
Always.
Yeah, good to talk with you.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right. See you, Martin.
Bye, Martin.
See you guys. Nice. Thank you, Joel and Alex. That was so fun. And for those of you who are joining us in the chat, I really appreciate you always jumping in. Hope we answered your question there, Ona. And that's about it. Thank you for joining me today, everybody. We are back with Daniel Cabella tomorrow. I haven't even put his poster up yet, but he is, where is he? Trying to find it.